At the beginning of the story, Bol, Rial and their daughter are introduced. They are all refugees fleeing the war in South Sudan. A civil war is ongoing there, and the entire family wants to leave the country for a better life. They are crossing the sea with other refugees by boat, but the boat was overcrowded, so the boat capsizes, resulting in many deaths. Next, we see Bol and Rial in a detention center in London. Their daughter died in the accident. 9 months later, some government officials call them in and inform them that they will be released from the detention center. They will be given a house to live in and £75 per week for expenses. But they must follow every law and are not allowed to work, and they will be monitored by a social worker. If they adhere to all the laws, they can stay, otherwise, they will be deported back to their country. They agreed to this condition. Later on, they are given a place to live in the countryside, which is far from the city, where there are other houses as well. There, they meet Mark, their social worker, who takes them to a house that is not in very good condition. Mark tells them that they are very lucky to get such a nice house, as his own house is even smaller. After moving to the small town, they realize that the locals will not easily accept them. A lady living next door tells them to leave from there. When they enter the house, they find the house is not in very good shape, but life there is still much better and safer than in South Sudan. However, they still don't know which country they are in. After living in the house, Bol starts hearing people screaming every night, the voices of those who drowned in the sea. He covers his ears, but then he hears noises coming from the wall in front of him. Suddenly, a brick falls out from the bottom of the wall, which creates an opening. When Bol looks down, he sees a shadow, but he does not realize what it is. Then a raven comes out of the wall, which scaring Bol. Bol is confused about what just happened. The next morning, he goes to a salon where he learns for the first time that he is in a small town near London. This makes Bol very happy. He has no trouble communicating with the locals because he can speak English, but his wife cannot. The following day, some people from the church invite Bol to watch a football match. During the match, Bol sings a football song, which impressed everyone. That night, he tells his wife that they should eat with utensils instead of their hands, because that's what everyone else does here. Bol also decides to start dressing like the locals to blend in better. For Rial, it's not as easy. She is still connected to her culture, wearing the same kind of clothes she used to wear in their home country, and eating while sitting on the floor. One night, while Bol is at home, he hears noises from the wall again. This time, the wallpaper separated from the wall by itself and revealing a hole. When Bol approaches the hole, he finds a rope and starts pulling it, but it keeps coming and doesn't seem to end. At that moment, we see a shadow behind Bol, and then the house's lights go out. Bol sees his daughter's doll inside the hole, and then a ghost comes and takes the doll away. Bol gets very scared, so he closes his eyes, and when he opens them, the wall is back to normal. This frightens him even more. After that, Bol removes all the wallpaper from the walls in the house. The next morning, Rial notices that Bol is not at home and that all the wallpaper has been stripped off the walls. Rial also hears strange noises and has a vision, which makes her realize that something is definitely going on wrong here. Mark had given them a doctor's contact number, so Rial decides to visit the doctor. During the visit, the doctor checks her blood pressure and tells her that she is completely normal. Rial explains to the doctor that they are from Sudan, where there is a war between two tribes. Because of this war, they lost their entire family. She and Bol got different tattoos from the two opposing tribes to survive, but by doing this, they couldn't fully belong to either tribe. As a result, they became refugees and ended up here. Afterward, Rial returns home. Once again, she hears the noises from behind the wall again. She sits down quietly to listen to them, and just then, a few fruits fall off the table to the floor and rolls into the wall, frightening her. A while later, Bol returns home and sees that Rial has prepared food and placed it on the floor. Bol insists that we shouldn't eat like this. Instead, we should eat like the local people so that we can blend in with them as quickly as possible. Rial then tells Bol a story about a poor man who wanted to build a house but didn't have the money. So, he started stealing and one day he robbed an old man. With that stolen money, he built his house, but he didn't know that the old man was a night witch. After the robbery, the night witch started living in the poor man's house with him. The man began hearing strange noises in his house, and the night witch stayed there until he eventually killed the man. And, when our boat sank in the ocean, a night witch was born from that incident and is now in this house. I've heard its noises, and if we repay our debt, the night witch will return our daughter to us. Here, she doesn't specify what debt she is referring to. Ball explains to her that nothing like that is true and that their daughter is no longer in this world, and she can never come back. Hearing these words from Bol, his wife is not happy at all. That night, Bol once again hears noises from behind the wall. He sees a little girl wearing a tribal mask, who is none other than his daughter. Suddenly, many shadows appear and try to attack him with knives. Bol runs outside, where his neighbor sees him. Bol quickly pretends to be completely normal because if anyone notices his strange behavior, they could report to the official against him and his wife, and this would lead to them being deported back to their own country, which Bol does not want. Bol goes back inside the house and takes all the items Rial had brought from their home country. He tells her that everything is cursed and burns them all. He also burns the necklace that Rial made from the beads that belonged to their daughter. The next morning, Bol goes to the market to buy wallpaper for repairing the walls. He also purchases some clothes to help him blend in with the locals. After returning home, he repairs the wall. That night, Bol sees Rial sitting on a chair, talking to someone who isn't there. He tells her that she needs to go outside and talk to people because her mental state is deteriorating. A while later, Bol notices that the wall in their house has broken down, and suddenly, he finds himself at the edge of the sea, surrounded by many ghosts who are tormenting him. Bol shouts, "This is my house. You all need to leave." As he says this, he begins hitting the wall forcefully. Bol is utterly confused and doesn't understand what is happening to him. The next morning, he goes to Mark and he asks to arrange for him to be shifted to another house, because there are too many bugs in the current one, which is affecting his wife's health. He doesn't say to Mark anything about the Night Witch, because he fears Mark might think he's crazy and he might be deported from the country along with his wife if he tells him about it. Mark says he can't fulfill Bol's demand. They usually accommodate 2 to 3 families in the house they provided Bol, but currently, he's living alone with his wife. Hearing this, Bol gets very angry and accidentally breaks the glass he's holding in his hand. Bol returns home, where behind the wall, in the hallway, he sees many ghosts staring at him. He also sees his daughter, who gives him back the necklace he had burned. And now, Mark also comes for the home inspection. He sees that the walls of the house are broken. He tells Bol that it's not the work of bugs, and they need to repair it quickly. Otherwise, he'll report it to government officials. As Mark is about to leave, Bol's wife arrives there and tells Mark everything about the ghostly occurrences in the house. Mark doesn't entirely believe her, and he tells his assistant that perhaps their mental condition is not well. He says they will have to inform this to government officials. With that, he leaves. Bol tells his wife that she shouldn't have said everything, and now he closes all the windows and doors of the house. Afterwards, he lights a candle in front of the wall and says he wants to talk. For the first time, they encounter the ghost, whom Bol and his wife call Apeth. Its eyes appear and it tells Bol to cut his hand with a knife. After that, it will return their daughter to them. Bol says that the Night Witch can't harm him physically, it's just a trick, a deception. Hearing this, the witch gets angry and grabs his head, after which Bol has a vision in which he sees the moment when many people are drowning in water. This sight pains Bol deeply. Rial gets very scared seeing this and rushes out of the house. And now, the Night Witch shows her another vision, in which she is in his home country, Sudan. She is in a housing complex where his entire family was killed. Just then, Bol arrives there and he takes Rial with him, and both of them flee from there. They encounter a refugee bus, in which only women and those who has children were allowed to board. But Bol cannot board this bus because there are no children with them. He notices a girl there and forcefully takes her with them onto the bus. Just then, the girl's real mother arrives, but before she can reach them, another tribal group attacks them. Although the girl is not their real daughter, Rial still protects her like her own daughter. And when they are all in the boat in the sea, some people fall into the water, including that girl, who screams that she doesn't know how to swim. Although Bol sees her, he still doesn't help her, he only saves his wife and lets the child die. Now in Rial's vision, the Night Witch appears before her as an old woman and gives her a knife, saying that if she cuts her husband's hand with this knife, the witch will return the girl to her. The story returns to the present where a knife is in front of Bol. He realizes that what he did was wrong, and now he has to make amends for that debt, the same debt his wife had talked about. Bol picks up the knife and wounds himself. Then, the witch emerges from the ground and trying to insert his hand into Bol's wound. In fact, Bol also wants its entire essence to enter his body. At that moment, the girl who had drowned in the water, she appears before Rial, because she considers this girl to be her daughter and always wanted to bring her back. But now, she apologizes to all the ghosts and tells them to leave. Rial also has the knife, and she stabs the witch with it and saves Ball's life. A few days later, Mark comes here with his seniors to inspect the house. They see that the condition of the house is better than before. Bull has repaired the house. Mark asks what happened to that ghost. Bull says that my wife Rial killed him. Upon hearing this, Mark finds it very funny. Bull also says that all the ghosts who came with them from Sudan will now stay in this house, including their daughter. Then we are shown all the souls around them, who drowned in the sea, and with this, the film story ends here. So friends, we hope you liked this story.